Flamingo Books. Shining English Reader Series 8. Chapter 12. The Gift of the King. There was a full moon that night. "We are lucky," the old man said. Just before dawn, on a full moon night, they saw the octopus dances a courtship dance and goes out to the sea in search of its mate. It is the only time a diver can try to get the pearls in the forbidden sea. But, he warned, the dive has to be done almost in the dark. No diver has so far been brave enough to try. The boys looked at each other in dismay. Omar said timidly, "Abu, you have found some fine pearls. Let's leave it. You have been very lucky. This is much too dangerous. In the dark you may not even see the rocks. How will you see a shark or an octopus?" "I must have that big shell," Abu Sa'id fiercely. "I know it has the pearl I have dreamed about. I must have it. I cannot go back to my mother without finding it." "But you never promised her you would bring back pearls," Omar objected reasonably. Abu made a face and turned away. "I must go down before dawn tomorrow." Omar looked at him sadly, then held out his hand to his friend and said gruffly, "I will come with you." The moon was very bright. Abu could not sleep. He lay on the sand outside the hut and watched the big, glowing ball in the moon, the tides, plants and seeds and even people's feelings. Omar could not sleep either. He finally said to Abu, "If you find a great pearl, you will leave?" "Yes, Omar. Why don't you come with me? I have no home." "Where did you come from?" "From Tunisia." "Oh, Abu Sa'id, where's that?" "Over the desert and sea from here. I ran away on a fishing boat and then came with camel drivers to Basra. I just kept on." Then he repeated with his teeth clenched, "I have no home, no one." Abu looked closely at his friend. "You keep saying, 'I have no home.' What do you mean?" "My father tried to kill me," Omar burst out. "He was arranging a marriage for my sister to a cruel, vicious man, and I tried to stop him. He took a knife to kill me. Look, feel this scar. I ran away. I hate him." Abu put a hand on Omar's shoulder, for he was weeping bitterly. "Omar, please, come back with me and we shall make a new home for you in Bombay." "But I love my mother and my sisters," Omar exclaimed. "They don't know where I am." "Of course," Abu Sa'id excitedly. "But Omar, think, if we find a rare pearl, we can escape to Bombay and sell it there with the others to the old pearl merchant. You know, the Arab who befriended Syed Bakr? I told you about him. Then we shall divide the money in half." "No," he stopped. "In 3 parts. 1 part for you and 1 for me and 1 for Syed Bakr." So with that, he went on triumphantly, "You could go back to Tunisia." Omar started to smile. "Tomorrow we shall find more than 1 pearl," he said. "And now we must sleep." In a few hours they were all wide awake. The moon was still bright, thought waning. Somehow Abu felt it was not going to be so dark under the water after all. In great excitement they filled up the boat with fishing lines and a little food and water. "We can see quite clearly," Abu Sa'id confidently. "Wait till you're underwater," Syed Bakr answered. They rowed out, and soon saw the 3 rocks sharp and black against the sky. Abu's heart began to pound. The moon was now at an angle with the horizon, and as the boys looked down into the dark water, they could see the outline of the great rocky overhang below. They plunged in, trailing their lines, the ends of which were fast in the old man's trembling hands, and soon disappeared from sight. Though it was dark, Abu could see faint shapes and the fish that darted past him. Perhaps the excitement of changing Omar's sad life filled him, but the pounding of his heart had stopped now. His fear had gone. On the seabed he grabbed several shells, hoping that one was the loose one he had dropped when the octopus snatched it. Then he shot to the surface with Omar very close behind. Both boys had several shells. When they got their breath, Abu Sa'id, the legend must have been true. "I can't see the octopus. We must keep going down till dawn breaks. There will never be another chance like this." The old man marveled at the courage of the boys. Grown men had never dared to dive in this dangerous reef, yet all he said was, "Could you see anything at all?" "Oh, yes," the boys chorused. "The moonbeams give a strange light. You can see shapes rather than things." Again and again they went down. The moon was now very near the horizon, and in the east the first light of dawn was beginning to glow. Down through the water went the boys, Abu plunging this time, as close to the place he had lost his big shell as he could remember. It must be down there. But the seabed was littered with shells and the time he could spend underwater was short. Then he spotted a big shell and grabbed it, but it was struck to the floor. Cutting swiftly behind the shell, he gathered it up and another, before rushing upward again. Omar was just in front of him and the boys surfaced once more with their booty. Now the moon was down and the orb of the sun pushed over the eastern horizon. It was flat and pink, unlike the blazing ball they saw in the midday sky. "Open the shells quickly," Abu said when he caught his breath. There were pearls in every shell, but not the prize one Abu had dreamed about. "You have made a big catch already, boys," Syed Bakr said gently. "Now the sun is up. You must take no more chances." He could see disappointment on Abu's face. "I must find my big shell, Abu Saeed. I must." There was desperation in his voice. "Abu, this has been more than we hoped to find," Omar pleaded. He was more easily frightened than Abu, but his devotion had overcome his fears. "How will you have enough to go back to Tunisia?" Abu Saeed roughly. "Think of that." Trembling a little, Omar fell silent and got ready to dive. He went in a little after Abu, whom he could see ahead of him deep in the water. Then, like a fish, Abu took a sharp twist under the overhang and when Omar reached there was no sign of him. In a panic, he made no effort to go down for pearls. Instead, he searched frantically for Abu. Suddenly he saw a most extraordinary sight. In a sort of a bay under the overhang, which the sun's light slowly revealed, were two octopuses. They rested with their tentacles hanging down like waterfalls from their soft shiny bodies. One of them held a huge oyster shell in one tentacle. Holding it aloft gently, the octopus watched Abu, who was treading lightly on the seafloor, almost dancing as he advanced on the marine monsters. If Omar could have screamed he would have done so. His friend must be mad. All he could do was stand by helplessly to watch Abu's certain death. A desperate desire to save Abu overcame Omar's fears and he swam with violent movements toward him. But Abu was intent on getting his oyster shell. Advancing with slow dancing movements, he floated up and held out his hands for the shell. Omar will never forget what he saw next. Instead of attacking him, the octopus unfurled his tentacle and held the shell out to Abu. Giving a deep salaam, Abu took the prize and as he took it the octopus stroked Abu's back with the tentacle and withdrew it fluidly. Omar thought he must be dreaming. It was like a king giving a gift and then a blessing. Grasping his shell, Abu shot upwards. He hadn't seen Omar behind him. When the boys reached the surface, the old man was hauling in the lines anxiously. "Are you all right?" he gasped. Abu nodded his head happily, held out the oyster and tumbled panting into the boat. For several minutes the boys said nothing as they heaved and struggled to get air back into their lungs. Then Omar burst out with his tale. The old man listened to him incredulously. He looked down unbelievingly at the huge shell in his hand and then at Abu's face. He was sure they were trying to make fun of him. The gift of an octopus indeed. "Open the shell, the boys cried. "Let's see what priceless gift we have been given." With trembling fingers the old man took his knife and pried it open. There, on the gleaming white bed of mother of pearl, half hidden by the body of the oyster, was a huge black pearl. It was large and lustrous, and the morning sun's rays dancing on it gave it curious shifting lights half green, half black, shot with gold. For minutes no one would say a word. Then in a halting voice, the old man said, "No one will believe you. You could not sell this pearl. No one would believe that two young boys dived for it." Abu's face fell. His dream had come true, but his prize would be snatched away from him. What the old man said was perfectly true. No one would believe the two boys. People would only think they had stolen the black pearl. Omar saw the disappointment on Abu's face and put his arm around him comfortingly. Suddenly Abu jumped up, rocking the boat and nearly tipping the old man into the water. I know. You must come with us to Bombay," he shouted. "The Arab pearl merchant will believe you." Syed Bakr looked at him in surprise. He had come home and now here was this impetuous youngster dragging him back to Bombay, and all his unhappy memories. "Oh, Abu begged, you must say yes. What is your life here? You will have a home with us. Besides, I have not found my real father. You have been a father to me here. My mother would want to thank you and give you a home with us." Tears welled into the old man's eyes and he brushed them away roughly. "So you want me to get into trouble, too, you rascal?"